Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Sandra Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits. So get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is Marina Hudgens with United Way. Thanks for being with us, Marina.
It is a pleasure to be here.
Oh gosh, United Way. You folks are up to so much. You do some of this and some of that, and really important work in the lives of many, many people in our community. So, tell us, maybe an overview of what you're up to. Maybe I hear that there are some changes, some additions, some exciting things in the works. So maybe you'd like to start with that.
Of course. I feel like I could talk all day about United Way, but I will keep it brief. We focus primarily in three core focus areas: in academic achievement, financial security, and community resiliency. So many in Santa Barbara will know us for our academic achievement programming, which is things like Fun in the Sun, all those yellow shirts running around in the summer, our Bridge the Break program, our after-school literacy tutoring. But within our other initiatives, we have a lot of other work that's happening as well, which does tend to go a little more behind the scenes. We have our free tax prep program, which is actually running for the tax season across the county. We have our resiliency grants program, which is a case management network and support for families for basic needs. We have our childcare programming, which is relatively new to our organization, though we've had a hand in it for almost our entire 100 years of service. And then we also have our crisis response efforts, which a lot of people also will know us for, things like the Thomas Fire and debris flow, the COVID-19 pandemic, and any other disaster that's really been around in Santa Barbara County since our inception in 1923. We've had a hand in. So we are doing a lot. Everybody, when they come to us and ask, what does United Way do? Our standard answer is usually just a little bit of everything, but really at the core, it's just expanding access and opportunity and strengthening those pathways for families to be able to build a brighter future and a really strong foundation.
So maybe in those three areas, maybe you could unpack some of those programs that you listed off, because there's a lot going on there, and I'm always so impressed with what you're doing.
Oh, well, we're always so grateful for the community partners that come together to make it all happen. We work with, over 50 or 60 community partners every year as both supporters of our organization and through our programs as supporters in helping to facilitate some of that. So I can break down one of my favorite programs in our academic achievement focus area is Fun and Sun. So a lot of people, again, know us for this program. This year we'll be serving almost 500 students across the county.
Wow.
Yeah, we operate at local elementary school campuses in the summer. It's a national award-winning program, and it is completely free for the families who qualify. So we're all the way from Carpinteria Elementary Schools all the way up to Guadalupe, which is one of our newest campuses up at Mary Buren.
I didn't realize you went up that far.
Yes, that is a newer addition to us, and it's been really great. I think we'll serve over 150 kids up there this summer. And it's a really high-need area, especially in the summer. Any parent in Santa Barbara County will tell you it is wildly difficult to find really great, high-quality, reliable care for your kids during the summer. So it's just an honor to be able to provide that program to those families and to all the families that we serve in the summer. It's a full-day program all the way from 8:30 to 5, and we provide breakfast, lunch. We do academics in the morning, which is our primary outcome for that program, making sure kids can keep up their academics over the summer instead of falling behind. So we'll do STEAM activities, hands-on science projects, things like that. And then we have field trips, things like swimming lessons, bike riding lessons. We'll take them to the beach. We've taken them fishing before, which is always really cute. Wow. So it's just a little bit of everything, and it's really just exposure for those students to a community that cares about them and to new opportunities. Yeah.
So when you go on those field trips, how many kids do you typically take at a time?
Usually we'll do it by site, but I will share from last year one of my favorite field trips, which was probably one of our largest undertakings to date, was we took a couple hundred students from all across the program to the Libero in partnership with the Music Academy, which was outstanding. They did a bilingual performance of Peter and the Wolf, with actors. Yes, it was so great. I have a personal passion for music, so that was a really fun one. And it's a great example, too, of how we adapt the program year over year to what the students need, what they're interested in, things that the teachers tell us they're excited to learn more about. So it's just so fun to be able to provide it. And again, with the awesome partners that make that happen, like the Music Academy.
Yeah. So, speaking of partners, so I know that you collaborate a lot with other nonprofits and also businesses. So maybe let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so those who may come from other communities or know United Way in general will often know us from our workplace partnerships. So United Way's bread and butter for the whole, I guess it's over 100 years now over the course of our history, has been a big workplace partner. So we have multiple workplace giving campaigns with Cottage Health, UCSB, and that's where once a year we go into their workplaces and those employees can give back through a charitable giving campaign to United Way to support programs like Fun in the Sun or any other 501c3. So through that work, though we've now expanded in Santa Barbara to actual programs, through that we've built really strong partnerships with our corporate partners. One of the ones that I love that also happens through Fun in the Sun every year is Cottage Health. We take them to the hospital and they get to do a tour of the cafeteria. They bring out their police dogs. It's a really, really fun experience, all while learning a lot about, body health and nutrition, and how to take care of your brain and body. Super fun field trip.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So, and it's just a great way to show how that expansion outside of just a normal workplace campaign. Many other United Ways do just run a standard campaign where wonderful workplaces are giving back, but it's distributed out to other nonprofits. For us, it's really a special privilege to be able to fundraise from our corporate partners and know that it goes straight back to programs that are serving Santa Barbara County families.
So if someone, a business or a nonprofit, or an organization wants to find out how to get more involved with United Way, they could go on your website.
Yes, they most definitely can go to our website. We have an outstanding workplace team that really wants to make sure that it's an experience that is benefiting both of us. We get to offer volunteer opportunities for their staff and employees, and then we get to work alongside them to really make an impact together.
That is great. So I would imagine with all these things that you're doing, you use a lot of volunteers.
Yes, the work that we do definitely takes a big effort to pull together, a lot of manpower and woman power. So we do have some outstanding volunteers from our workplaces that come together to support Fun in the Sun. We have our Women United group, which are women who come together to both volunteer and help support our programs. And just a lot of great people that come together to make it happen. So we're very grateful for that.
That is great. And so now United Way is a 501c3, and so people can make tax-deductible donations. And I'll bet that you have a Donate Now button on your website. They can go there, huh?
You know us well. We definitely do on our website, which is unitedwaysb.org/donate. Keep it very easy. And yes, all contributions to United Way are fully tax deductible.
Great. So, and while they're on the website, they can also, look at the different programs and see how they can get involved and what's happening, what dates and places and on, because you guys are always up to something good.
We always do seem to be up to something. Yes, we do have a lot of really fun activities and events that happen throughout the year, both for our workplace and those in philanthropy and others that give back to United Way. Things like our Red Feather Ball.
Red Feather Ball, yeah.
Yes,
that's always...
that is my personal passion project. So we have that one. We have a couple other great events and activities that are often welcoming our partners to really share more about how our impact is transforming the lives of families in Santa Barbara.
Gosh, I have heard so many transformational stories about the Fun in the Sun program.
Yeah.
I know that's sort of your flagship.
It is, yes. And what I love the most, and I love that you bring up the other focus areas, because the way that we have chosen to expand our work is very intentional in the way that we want families to be able to move through the continuum of support that United Way offers in a way that feels seamless and is able to connect them with every resource that they could need to build that stronger future. So Fun in the Sun now is almost 30 years old, which is so exciting, and it's really just transformed, and it's so great to hear of families that are coming back or students that come back as staff who used to be Fun in the Sun kids. And it's really special to hear those stories and to hear how that program, even now, we have children who are enrolled in Fun in the Sun, and their families then come back during the tax season to get their taxes done.
Oh,
And then when, things like COVID happened, they were able to come back to United Way as a hub for community support to receive assistance for, we managed over 54 million in assistance for rental and utility payments in COVID. Everyone had a really hard time with that. So it's really exciting to see that we are able to be that reliable space for families across each of those focus areas in a way that is really filling a gap for families that in that long-term success, which is what we're really dedicated for.
So that would come under, what is it called? Community resiliency?
Yeah, the crisis response work, we've recently rebranded with Worldwide, and so our new focus area names, it used to be Crisis Response and Recovery, which many people will remember, and it's now Community Resiliency, which I also really like because it's brought more of a comprehensive focus to how we support our community in times of crisis. It's not just reactive when something happens and we're really good at making change right in the moment, but we are now also doing year-round disaster response and recovery and preparedness. So we've been working with agencies like Listos and others, the county. We have a public-private partnership with the county. We do a lot of work now year-round to make sure that our community is really ready for anything that the world could throw at us.
So does the tax preparation program fall under that category, or is it different?
That program falls under our financial security.
Financial security,
Yes,
okay.
Yes, because for many of the families that we serve, there is an income limit for that program, so $67,000 or less in their annual income, which our tax preparers are all IRS certified and really specialize in maximizing a household refund. And at that income level, sometimes that income check that they receive is the largest check that household will receive for the year. So that's a big part of many people who come back to us and say that they were able to use their refund to start their first ever savings account, or actually start saving for retirement, or cover that medical bill that's been sitting on the back burner. So that's a big part of our effort in financial security. But I like that you bring that up. I love when people ask if, which focus area it lies under, because that's part of that intentionality, is that the impact and the outcomes of our work do cross over. A stronger financial foundation does make them better prepared for if something were to happen. They have a savings account. They have, the support network they need to really get through it. So I do love that people ask, because then I get to explain a little bit about how that crossover happens.
Do you think that most United Ways have that program, that tax program?
The VITA program is fairly used through United Ways, but I will share that our Santa Barbara County United Way was one of, if not the first, to start running its own direct service programs. We are a very, very innovative United Way. It's one of the reasons our CEO, Steve Ortiz, was also elected to the Worldwide Board of Trustees. So, we are represented on the global stage with Steve. He's been doing a lot of work there to really move the network towards what we're doing here in Santa Barbara, because it's been really impactful for the people that we're serving.
Oh, so he's kind of using the Santa Barbara model to encourage other United Ways around the world to be more like Santa Barbara.
Yes, exactly. And that all comes at a really interesting time for United Way in general. We were obviously started many, many years ago, prior to any kind of technology or the internet. So the way that philanthropy works nowadays has significantly shifted. And part of United Way's effort to stay ahead of the curve and make sure that we're really supporting our communities in the way that they need to be supported. There's a lot of really great models like ours that are really leading the way. So it's exciting to be a part of that as well.
I bet.
Yeah.
So you have, so the newest program that you have is childcare, is that right?
Yes, we have. We've always been involved in Santa Barbara County's childcare sector in some way or another. But in the last 2 or 3 years, we've really taken a more direct approach. That's primarily in partnership with First Five, Santa Barbara County.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, who welcomed us and some other community partners to manage some dollars that came through the ARPA funding, the American Rescue Plan. It was about $2 million, and we all worked through some pretty ambitious goals for remediating the childcare sector. Again, parents in Santa Barbara County know how expensive childcare can be. It's one of the larger budget items. One of our assessments found that I think a family with 2 kids is spending over 30% of their income on childcare alone, which is not recommended. So part of our approach, which has always been a United Way focus, is the sector and the system. And with our business relationships that we have as United Way in the corporate sector, with our service agency partners, we were a really key agency to make some shifts. So we spent the last 2 years really working on that. We created new spaces across the county. We invested in new facilities, the new Early Learning Center in Guadalupe. We were the largest nonprofit funder of that, which was great.
So it's actually a center.
Yes, very cute if you have a chance to visit it, very colorful. But we had facilities across Santa Barbara County that we were able to invest in, and then also a family childcare scholarship program, which has really transformed a lot of the ways that families in the last year were able to afford that really big budget item.
That's really great.
Yes.
Well, so how do these families find out about you, about United Way and your different programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a really, really close relationship with service agencies, local schools, local government programs. And so a lot of times that's how we're working to deliver our programs. Fun in the Sun, for example, those are direct referrals from schools. So we're really serving the people who need it most. And then there are programs like VITA. We reach out to all those who've been served through United Way to offer that program. And then, our website, social media, we do a lot of things to share this story, but there's a lot that we're doing. So we're always excited for people to come if they need it.
Yeah. So we have about 2 minutes left. And so do you have anything else you'd like our audience to know about United Way?
Oh, my goodness. The biggest thing that I want people to know about United Way is that we are Santa Barbara County's United Way. We are really rooted in this community, and that the partnerships that we have here have been built over decades and decades of service with each other. So I love when I get to talk about how our programs evolve and have changed over time, and how that really is in direct response to the needs that our community is reporting to us. So the question of what does United Way do? The answer to that in a technical sense is always evolving, usually, from the various programs. But I love to tell people that what we do at its core is not changing, and what we do is serving our community where it needs to be served. So that's something I'm really proud of, and I know our team is really proud of. So it's always exciting to make sure our community knows that we're always going to be there.
That is great. Such important programs, and yet they're constantly changing in response to how you perceive the needs of the community.
Yeah.
That, I think, is really, really important.
And what our partners tell us, we're always listening. We're always making sure that they're centered in our impact, so that what we're doing is actually serving them, the ones who are so closely with the students.
So
and
you
families.
probably ask them all the time, or they know that you want their input all the time.
We are constantly
Anybody
meeting
have a new idea, a new program? What
Yeah.
are you seeing? Do you do sort of formal, I don't know, reaching out to the different people or organizations or companies to?
We do, yes. Across the focus areas, we have various coalitions that United Way leads, like our Brighter Futures Childcare Coalition, the Resiliency Grants Program. We bring those case managers together to listen to what's coming up and what we're able to say, like, we're funding a lot of this. How can we come together to support that? Or our school district partners, we're always meeting with them and staying in touch.
Oh, that's good.
Everyone knows over the last year or two, it's been really tumultuous and a lot of things changing.
Yeah.
So it's been more important than ever for us to make sure we're listening.
That's great. So it sounds like United Way is pretty nimble and
Yes.
responsive.
I love that description. I would agree.
Well, Marina, thank you so much for all the good, important work that you and your team are doing in Santa Barbara County. And I love that we're a model for others around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks for coming on our show to share all that with us.
Well, thank you for having us. We're so grateful for this community. They're really wonderful.
And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we will see you next time.